So let's do a clap. Maybe you can do it in front of both cameras.
Yes.
Yeah. Perfect.
I think we should go back to the conversation about success.
Yeah.
Because that's an important one. I mean, I talked a little bit about how I see it on different levels, because there is maybe the more personal and psychological level, which is just, are you happy with what you're doing? Do you wake up every day and feel like your life has a sense of meaning? That you do something that you think is morally, ethically responsible? And there is this really nice text from Audre Lorde about, is poetry a luxury? Which is really, really interesting, where she talks about, I think maybe this, is it a luxury, is also a conversation about, is it a privilege to be able to think those thoughts? Because most of us live in a world where you have to get by. And that's based on economy. And that's based... What do you need from me?
Can you take the audio a bit down of the music?
Yeah. What's a little... What do you need of me? It's okay. So in this Audre Lorde text, she talks about the luxury of poetry, which is really not a luxury because it makes the whole world more sensible for everyone. That people transmute, as you call it, their feelings into some sort of action. But I think it's little talked about how important it also is to get by, and then you feel like you have one foot in each door in a way, that you're constantly struggling between, yes, I am happy, yes, I love what I'm doing, yes, I have doubts, and I'm also struggling sometimes with seeing the meaning of it, because there's many ways of trying to say something about the world. You could go into politics, you could do volunteer work, making art is just one piece of the bigger puzzle, where every person that contributes to that, I think, is a very important piece. And that is success, I think, in a more collective way of seeing success, not just my individual personal success, as in I get famous, I get a lot of followers, I get a lot of money, I get to do everything that I personally want to do in my life, but also that you feel a responsibility to contribute and see the injustice that happens in the world. And success can change a lot. I think even people that have this very big form of success in a very societal way of seeing success, as in a lot of people know what you're doing and you're getting the right gallery shows, you are showing at the big museums, you are getting prizes, you're being praised for your work, in a sense, might sometimes feel shallow also, because you have to bring your whole being into it. And as we all know it more, some people more than others, that includes the part of it that is also difficult. I can feel successful one day if I finish a piece. I can feel successful a day if I have a show and I'm showing it to my community and people around me are seeing what I'm creating and being able to conversate and discuss and criticize that. I can feel successful if I sell a piece. But the hardest part is really trying to feel successful when you have minus on your account and you haven't had a show in months or even years, and you feel maybe alone in what you do. Is it then still success because you still feel like you do the right thing, even though it seems like no one around you understands what you are doing? Yeah, it's a difficult question.
How would you answer it?
I would say, ultimately, in my view of what success is, yes. You're also successful if you breathe and you take a day off and you exist and you spend time with people you care about, and you care about the world and its problems and its difficulties. But to feel it is another thing, to really embody that success and not just have an intellectual idea of this being success, but actually feeling it deeply inside yourself. Because we also live in a world where you psychologically need approval to some degree from other people. And if you haven't had that in a really long time, and you don't have good people around you that still support what you're doing, it can be really hard to keep your own spirits up.
Yeah.
And to remember your form of success.
It needs this infrequent form of gratitude by other people. I think Hugo mentions it in the other film that I made. When he became a painter, there were people who told him, keep doing it, keep doing what you're doing. It's good what you're doing. So if he might not have had this kind of sensation of, oh yeah, it's actually good what I'm doing, might have stopped, followed another job or something like that. If he, we're in this world as social creatures in a way, and we have to be honest with each other. Maybe your work really sucks. Then I think it's also important that your friends tell you, maybe you should become a politician because you are very pragmatic and really good in communication. So maybe this is also the responsibility that our friends have. So yeah, success is a co-production in that sense then.
And the whole society is a co-production. We need everyone to do different parts and to play different parts for it to continue to exist. And it's the same for the art world. I can sometimes see ways of creation and expression where I wish that I would be able to express myself this way, as this person does. And does that mean that my creation is not as valuable? Does it mean that it's not as strong? Might be. Or might not be. And might be that we need both voices, both points of views to be able to create the full picture. We are only the people we are, and what we do with that is the important, I think. And yeah, having this support system in a way when you are going through ups and downs is really, really important. Not everyone is as lucky to have a genetic family like your own blood that supports you to all times and who really understands what you're doing. And that's where also chosen family comes in. These people that you meet on your road that see you and understand you, but also challenge you, also ask the difficult question, also honesty both ways, not only being honest towards yourself, but having other people that dare to be honest with you when they see something that they think is incoherent with who you are or what you believe in.
I think with this topic we kind of covered a few
points,
angles on it, and I just had to, if in case you want to add something, feel free to keep on talking about success. But I just remembered this one question that I had on the way here, and I haven't asked it yet. So my question is, if you believe in perfection in life or in art. And if yes or no, maybe you can explain what it means to you.
No, I don't believe in perfection. That again, what is perfection? It goes back to the understanding. If perfection is having flaws and making mistakes, then that creates a fuller picture and a more dynamic idea of not only what you create but who you are, then yes, that form of perfection I believe in. But if perfection means no flaws and no faults and no doubts, then no, because it's not only a part of the process, it's a part of the process of life. Very often something comes out of the oven or the fire or these processes that has other powers in them than me, where in the moment I see it, I'm shocked and I maybe not recognize it. I recognize my own line, but not necessarily my own colorway or the tint of it, or the expression changes completely from something that is matte or something that is very shiny. And this you cannot always control. But to learn to accept that also becomes a personal quest. To learn to like something that you initially don't like. That is also the alchemical process.
Yeah, I think the question originated exactly also from that kind of field, because isn't that the highest goal to make gold? And if it's achievable or not, I don't know. But if you have this one base matter and you achieve this highest goal to make it to gold, the lead, isn't that then perfect in a way, like a perfect, like it's just everything followed like your idea and it just happened to be that it's now gold? Wouldn't that be perfection then? And I don't know if it's really true. I really don't know if this is possible.
Maybe it's perfection as an answer to part of the quest. Like this piece, for example, I really missed working with metal, and for a long period of time it wasn't really possible. And then I had other materials to work with, and I had to try to make it look like gold. Or I wanted to try. I wanted to create something that was metallic without being metal in origin itself. And in that way I succeeded. That's maybe where success also still comes in as an important word, because if that was the point in that process, yes, some sort of perfection has been achieved, but there's still so many other layers and there's still so many other factors. Will I still think that it's perfection when it's understood and experienced by other people? How do I use it? What do I want to, what did I feel when I made it, and what do I want other people to feel? And do they feel similar? Do they feel like they can project themselves into it and let themselves go in the experience of it? Those two things can coexist, but it can also be that I failed. And then I'll learn from that. So perfection is a difficult word. Yeah. I think in our society we use perfection as like also another ultimate truth. You reach perfection when something is without fault and you reached directly to the point you had originally. But how often doesn't the point astray? How often do you not have an initial idea and realize that you learned so much that whatever you had as an initial idea will never be what you realized in the end? It doesn't take away the value of what you created, it's just different. So to accept that difference and to work with it and to learn from it and to integrate that again would be as close to perfection as possible.
Yeah, I like this view. Alan Watts would probably say something different, but I'm with you on that.
What do you think Alan Watts would say?
Alan Watts would say each of us is the perfect expression of the universe experiencing itself, something like that. And of course, that includes all our flaws, and that's exactly what you said also. If that means our flaws are part of the perfection, then yes, we are perfect maybe in a way.
Exactly.
Like an apple tree is also a perfect expression of what the idea of an apple tree might be, or a plum tree or a palm tree or a flower in the field. It couldn't be better than this. You know, we also look for the 4-leafed clover, even though it's maybe it has been intended as a 3-leafed clover, but still we find the 4-leafed ones cooler because they are rare, and maybe they are the ones with the flaws.
And maybe perfection equals ideal, and what we think of as ideal, that there is a thought through last point of the journey, whatever that journey is, long or short. But that's crazy. We can't look into the future. As much as I believe in magic, there is also living in the moment, and that moment having the power to change, and that relates to all areas of life where stuff just happens and we do our best, and sometimes we change the course, sometimes it's completely other to us, but that other is also a part of us. Maybe that's what we learn. Yeah. Alan Watts.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you for this little conversation.